All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Well, folks, it's postseason time here in the National Basketball Association, and today, with the official start of the NBA playoffs, tomorrow, I want to take this time out to talk about the first round in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Now, of course, as of right now, we've got three of these four matchups set for round number one. Of course, the final one will be determined tonight, whether that's going to be Miami or Atlanta, who will meet the Cleveland Cavaliers in round number one. But nonetheless, these Cavs, they are looking to follow up their phenomenal season with a deep playoff run. We just saw the Cavs go 64 and 18, their second best season in franchise history. And of course, things have really come together for Cleveland in their first year under head coach Kenny Atkinson. Phenomenal roster, very balanced, but again, it's Donovan Mitchell time. And we know what the Spider can do in the playoffs. He's done it before for Utah as well as Cleveland, and he can go off, and he's going to be vital for Cleveland in this series. But again, talking about that Cavs balance with the likes of Darius Garland, of course, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen gives them a solid presence at center. And then, of course, the acquisition of DeAndre Hunter has been big for Cleveland. And honestly, regardless if it's going to be Atlanta or Miami, I don't see them getting past the Cavaliers, as I'm going to take the Cavs against whomever they play in round number one in 5 games. Now, getting down to the series the matchups have already been determined. We've got the seventh seed Orlando Magic taking on the Boston Celtics. And of course, Orlando got in via the play-in tournament, and they are looking to win their first playoff series since 2010. If Orlando's going to pull off the upset, they're heavy underdogs against the defending champs. Big time series will be needed from both Paolo Banchero as well as Franz Wagner. But first and foremost, with Boston, the health of Jaylen Brown. We heard about him getting his knee drained. I think having the additional time off while the plan was underway gives him the opportunity to get somewhat healthy again. This time of the year in the NBA, there's no such thing as being fully healthy. But aside from Jaylen Brown, too much depth on this Boston team. Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, Peyton Pritchard, Derek White. Joe Mazzulla now has a championship under or on his resume. He's going up against head coach Jamal Mosley. And when it's all said and done, I say the Celtics in five, maybe six. Okay. You got the New York Knicks and the Detroit Pistons in the 3-6 matchup. And if you're the Knicks, you definitely need to be on upset alert. We saw Detroit take 3 out of 4 during the regular season from the Knickerbockers, and they are not afraid of this team. The Pistons have not won a playoff game, not a playoff series, a playoff game since 2008, because every single time after that the Pistons made the postseason, they were swept in round number one. But you can't talk enough about the turnaround this season for the Pistons under first-year head coach JB Bickerstaff. He was let go in Cleveland, landed on his feet in Detroit, and the Pistons have more than tripled their win total from last season. In my book, JB Bickerstaff should be the NBA's head coach of the year. But this Pistons team, they're playing with house money. They've got absolutely nothing to lose. And I think they're going to leave it all out there. You got a young scorer, the likes of Cade Cunningham, and of course, players like Jaden Ivey and Malik Beasley. And they're going to make life tough for this Knicks team. And I think it's going to be very important for Tom Thibodeau to have his team ready. And I think he will, because due to the fact that the Knicks lost 3 out of 4 during the regular season against the Pistons, it's got their attention. Okay. Jalen Brunson continues to be Jalen Brunson. There's nothing that to deny about that. But I'm looking at Karl Anthony Towns, and I've talked about this. This is his first time around in the postseason with New York. You think about those years where he made the postseason with the Minnesota Timberwolves, his production during the postseason dipped in comparison to that of the regular season. Can't happen this time around because the folks in New York will let you know how they feel. But the Knicks, You've got some solid wings. You've got Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges, part of that Villanova trio. Of course, Mikal Bridges, first time in the playoffs with the Knicks. And you can't forget about the likes of OG Anunoby as well. JB Bickerstaff, solid head coach going up against another solid head coach in Tom Thibodeau. I think the pressure is going to be on Tibbs and company because they cannot afford an early exit in the postseason, especially after all of the transactions that the Knicks made over last offseason. Like I said, Detroit is going to make the Knicks pack a lunch in order to beat them. I say Knicks in six, maybe seven. And getting down to the final postseason matchup in the Eastern Conference. You got the 5 seed Milwaukee Bucks taking on the 4 seed Indiana Pacers. And for Milwaukee, they're looking to avoid deja vu as last year we saw Indiana upset and dominate them in round number one. And of course, the Bucks, they're going to be behind the eight ball to begin this series because it looks like it's not going to be no Dame Lillard's not going to be there for them as he's recovering from injury. Giannis will continue to be Giannis, but the other guys got to step up. The veterans like Bobby Portis, like Brooke Lopez, who have been there, and then a guy like Kyle Kuzma, can he step up and take some of that pressure off of Giannis? That's going to be important in this series. Milwaukee did win their last 8 games to finish the regular season. I think they want to try to carry some of that momentum over into the playoffs. And of course, they want to return the favor to Indiana. And if you're going to do that, you want to try to go out there and steal a game early in one of those first 2 games in Indiana before you head back to Milwaukee for games 3 and 4. Will the postseason once again be the undoing for Doc Rivers? We've seen it so often throughout his NBA career. Doc struggles, especially ever since he had success early on with the Boston Celtics. The youth and the speed of the Pacers was big for them last year. It's going to be something that they're going to rely on again, especially with Tyrese Halliburton at almost at quarterback, point guard. Please forgive me, but nonetheless, the likes of Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam in that front court for Indiana, and then also keep an eye out for Benedict Mathurin. So much depth on this Indiana team with the likes of Obi Toppin, TJ McConnell, Aaron Nesmith, and of course Andrew Nembhard. And I think the Bucks are going to be in for some more trouble. So I'm going to take Indiana in this one in 7 games. So when it's all said and done, I'm going with the top 4 teams in the East to advance to the semis. That's going to be Cleveland, Boston, New York, and Indiana. So, folks, that's the way I see it for round number one in the Eastern Conference playoffs. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank each and every one of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. And if you like what you heard and saw on this podcast, please feel free to hit that like button as well as subscribing to this channel. Guarantee you it's greatly appreciated. Also, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365, and you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. Also, if you're on the IG, and I'm talking about Instagram, just like it is on the X, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge. And just like it goes, you follow me, I'll follow you right back. Once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off, and I'm saying thanks once again for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody.